Road Transport and Highways, General Dr. V.K. Singh, retired, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, dignitaries on the days, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning and a warm welcome. On behalf of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, I extend a warm and hearty welcome to you all to the launch of Bharat New Car Assessment Program. As one of the fastest growing economies in the world, we now proudly boast of the best highways and road network in the world and the fastest growing automobile sector as well. The Honorable Minister's personal initiative and wisdom is that world-class road networks drive world-class economic growth. But the safety of the citizens is the top priority, and it is also a big-time personal initiative for him. We extend a very warm welcome to you, sirs. May I request you to kindly light the ceremonial lamp and launch and start this morning's program, the launch of Bharat New Car Assessment Program. We would like to share with you all that the lighting of the traditional lamp symbolizes new and auspicious beginnings. कार्यक्रम का विधिवत शुभारंभ करते हुए माननीय मंत्रीवर Ladies and gentlemen, it is the endeavor of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways to make the roads and highways very safe for each and every citizen of India. It is this endeavor that led us to the launch of Bharat New Car Assessment Program. This morning, it gives me great pleasure to welcome in our midst Shri Mahmood Ahmed, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. May I request him to kindly deliver the welcome and opening address. Please welcome with a round of applause.
Honorable Union Minister, Road Transport and Highways, Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, Honorable Minister of State, Road Transport and Highways, General Dr. V.K. Singh ji, respected Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Shri Anurag Jain ji, Mr. David Ward, Executive President, Towards Zero Foundation, Mr. Vinod Agarwal, President SIAM, senior officers, executives from the industry, esteemed guests, very good morning to all of you. It's with immense pleasure that I stand before you today as we mark a significant milestone in the field of vehicle and road safety. I am honored to welcome you all to the launch event of the Bharat New Car Assessment Program of Bharat NCAP, an initiative that holds the promise of transforming our approach towards vehicular safety. Under the visionary leadership of Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, Honorable Minister, Road Transport and Highways, we embark on this journey that underscores our commitment to advancing vehicle safety in our great nation. Bharat NCAP emerges as a crucial response to the evolving landscape of mobility and the paramount importance of safeguarding human lives. With the rapid expansion of our road networks and the increasing number of vehicles, it is our duty to ensure that each journey is accompanied by the assurance of safety. The NCAP sets out to achieve precisely that by evaluating and encouraging the production of vehicles that meet the highest safety standards. Through Bharat NCAP, we aim to foster a culture where safety is not an option but an inherent aspect of every vehicle. Bharat NCAP will provide star ratings to all M1 category vehicles and is aligned with the global crash test protocols. The rating will provide consumers an indication of the level of protection offered by the vehicle for empowering them to take an informed decision. This is expected to increase consumer demand for safer vehicles, further encouraging the OEMs to innovate and develop vehicles with enhanced safety features. I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Global NCAP for their support and inputs and towards the automotive industry in general for embracing this initiative and committing to raising the safety bar. Your support towards NCAP has been instrumental in driving this positive change. Together, we can build a future where our roads serve as pathways to a safer and more secure society. The launch of Bharat NCAP is a new beginning, a beginning that promises safer journeys, brighter futures, and a nation that values the lives of its citizens above all else. Thank you and welcome again to today's launch.
Thank you, sir, for that warm welcome address. Safety is not an option, but an inherent need of the citizen of India, each and every one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, seated in our midst this morning is Shri Anurag Jain, Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. I now request him to kindly deliver his address. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome.
Honorable Minister, Mr. Gadkari ji, Honorable MOS, Retired General Mr. Singh, Additional Secretary Mr. Mahmood, Mr. David Wan from Global MCAP, Mr. Agrawal, Chairperson of SIAM, and Mr. K.C. Sharma, who has been instrumental in driving this consultation process with all of you, and is our in-house expert on the safety and the transportation. Today is a very important day in the history of automobile industry in India. It's the first time we are embarking on a journey where we are telling the world that yes, please look at this, we are conscious of the safety. As all of us know that under visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, India has come out with a vision 2047. There's a time that India would be a developed country. We are at a cusp where almost everyone in the world agrees to this kind of a situation going to happen. That next about 25 to 30 years, India is going to remain the fastest growing economy of the world. We have the demography, we have the talent, and we have all the geopolitical situations aligning in our favor at the moment. We all know, so I'll not get into detail. All of you are from industry, so you keep a close tab of what's happening around in the economy. So that presents to us an opportunity. And to take advantage of that, what the government of the day has done is that there is a vision across the nation, where the whole nation walks towards the vision, and there's a kind of leadership which has been provided. So two of the major aspects where we deal with it, one is the infrastructure, where Vision 2047 for the department, for the ministry, which was led by the Honorable Minister, is to create an infrastructure which befits a developed country. So we have embarked on the journey to create access controlled expressways and highways for the first time on such a major scale. We are already in process of constructing 9,000 access controlled highways. As part of the vision, in the next 10-12 years, maybe 15 years, we would complete the vision which has been charted out, which would mean about 47,000 kilometers of access controlled highways. Given the speed with which Honorable Minister works, I think this will be on the lower side of the estimation. So we'll have access controlled highways. So the speed of transportation is increasing. As of now, we have almost about 1.5 lakh fatalities on the road. In terms of number of accidents, we are less than US. But in terms of fatalities, we are much more, many times more than what it is in US. What is the major difference? The accidents are happening and our speeds are slower. Then why do we have more fatalities? There's a question as the automobile industry we need to think of. What is the difference between the cars which are running on the roads of US or Germany, Europe or developed world or Japan or us? One is user behavior, will not get into that. That's captured in the number of accidents. But it is the fatalities which I want to point out. So we have to get into this. I hope that Bharat NCAP will actually give a new direction to our industry. I'm actually very grateful to the whole industry, the kind of consultations we have had. And truly, as I am told that there is not a single voice against this. You have embraced this program wholeheartedly, and whatever suggestions which came at the last time after the final draft was published, we have even taken all those concerns into account. Incidentally, sir, we have followed up almost everything what the global NCAP says, but based on the industry suggestion, two very important points came up, which we actually did change in the final notification. One was that we were actually specifying that we'll follow such and such global standard. Industry said that when we have got our own standard, why do we? It's a reflection of a confident country. We should say that we'll follow the Indian standard. Of course, they are aligned and tuned to the global standards, but it's just semantics. So we changed that. We agreed to industry's suggestion. But what was more important, interestingly, what happens that for the 4-star rating, there are two kinds of testing. One is a frontal crash, one is a side crash. So you get scores on both, and the total of it gives you a star rating. So if you get, sir, something like 8.3 on one test and 13.7 on another test, total of 22, you will end up getting 4-star. You get 8.3 on the same test, get 14 on the other test, your star rating will go down to 3-star from 4-star. That is the global NCAP formulation. Somehow people thought whatever they thought, because they wanted to ensure that when a company starts, industry wants to work on something, they should raise both the levels. So the gap between both the levels was pegged at 35%. When we looked at this problem was raised by the industry, sir, that there is a penalty for this. So being what India has unique to itself, we came up with a arithmetical formulation and calculated, and we said in each of the tests if minimum is 8.2, the difference is not material, because 22 with a 35% gap gives you exactly arithmetic number of 8.2. So that's a much cleaner way of saying not penalizing a better quality on one of the indicators. So we have uniquely adopted the global model, and hopefully this benchmarking will continue to be accepted in the global world. What this will also do, this will make our industry more export oriented. Our models will be able to sell in the export market. So this will further help our industry. I think there was a very positive news about a couple of months back, or maybe 3 months back, that we overtook Japan and became the 3rd largest automobile industry in the world. So this is something which is going to help the industry to grow further, be more competitive in the export market, meet those standards. Another thought which Honorable Minister has been telling us when I joined and we had these discussions, that all these safety features are available in the high-end cars. It is only in the low-end cars we try to look at the cost competitiveness and cut out on these features. Is the life of a common man not important to the industry? There's a question we need to answer. Trust me, the days are gone where the cost was the prime mover of the consumer's choice. India is changing very fast. The kind of impression we had about the country, that cost is the most important factor, things are changing. If you are giving quality, quality becomes more important than the cost alone. Now, large sizable population is in a position to afford, and therefore they will move towards the quality. Try out the experiment. I am sure when you start giving better quality, your sale will increase, and that has already started reflecting in the market. I mean, if you see the trend in the last 1.5 years, you are selling more SUVs now than the sedans and the smaller models. The growth of the smaller models is lower than the growth of the higher models. What does it reflect? People are craving for the quality. So I am sure that industry will take this as a very important milestone and move wholeheartedly towards providing the safety feature, reduce the deaths, fatalities on the road, which is a very, very heavy cost to our economy. World Bank says it is 2 to 3% of the GDP which is lost, socio-economic cost of the total road accidents. According to our own estimates, which I was reading some reports of the department, in 2015 it was estimated to be 0.77% of the GDP. It was a very accurate number. I don't know which report is right. It's all studies. But anywhere between say 1 to 3%, if that is the loss of the GDP, why do we want to suffer that? So I am sure you will move forward. It is a very positive trend, sir. Most of these people, since morning I will not mention because some people did make a request to me to mention that they are offering so many models. But I have got feedback from almost every car manufacturer that they are offering. Maybe 15 to 20 models have already come for the offer of evaluation of the star rating on the BNCAP. So that's a very positive and encouraging sign. Thank you, industry, for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those very inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, as the cars get bigger and faster, Towards Zero Foundation works relentlessly towards zero road crashes and zero loss of life. It is our privilege to welcome in our midst this morning Mr. David Ward, President Towards Zero Foundation. May I request him to kindly share his presentation on global perspective of NCAP. Please welcome.
Shri Minister Nitin Gadkari, distinguished guests, it's actually quite hard to put into words how immensely satisfying today is to see the progress that we're at the historic moment that this represents. My presentation this morning, I just want to give a quick background to the formation of the Safer Cars for India project 10 years ago. It's been quite a journey which many of you have followed. The motivation was quite simple. TZF hosts the Global New Car Assessment Program, which is a partnership of all the NCAPs around the world. And a few years before, there had been a ministerial conference on road safety, the first, held in Moscow, and there was a global plan for the decade. And one of the key points there in the vehicle safety side was to encourage the creation of NCAPs in all world regions. And of course, India was absolutely a key target because of the rising importance of the automotive industry and the profile of India globally. So that inspired us to contact a good partner of ours, the Institute for Road Traffic Education. Arishi Baluja is here, and with support from Dr. Rohit Baluja, we started the Safer Cars for India project as an experiment, as a sort of prototype NCAP. And the first results were a little disappointing. A lot of zero-star cars, a lot of media coverage. It's very encouraging to see all the cameras at the back there. At that time also we got a lot of attention. And what was most encouraging was the response, both from industry and from the government. And it's so satisfying 10 years later to see the progress that's been achieved. What we've seen in the last 10 years is the benefits of what we call demand pull and regulatory push. And that's where greater consumer information, and we've now tested in the Safer Cars for India project over 50 models, the effect that has had both on raising awareness amongst consumers here in India about the importance of the choices they can make when they buy a vehicle, and also encourage competition, open and fair competition between manufacturers to prove that they can build much safer vehicles. And that's been the experience we've seen. It was enormously satisfying for us to see in 2018 the first 5-star car awarded to Tata, and we've now seen a number of manufacturers competing for 4- and 5-star cars under the existing protocol. And that is the benefits of the NCAP system at work. But on top of that, and here I would really like to pay enormous credit to Minister Gadkari, Honourable Minister Gadkari, because the Indian government responded with a really strong package of vehicle safety regulations. And that's the regulatory push part of this story. And so from 2015, the government initiated a series of measures introducing front and side crash tests, pedestrian protection, and so on, and further pledges to come, for example, for electronic stability control. And what this shows is that this model of demand pull and regulatory push really, really works. But of course, for us, when we launched the Safer Cars for India project, we had no idea how long it would take to launch Bharat NCAP. We were pragmatic about this, but we were extremely encouraged by the evidence that we saw. And so today is really a magnificent day for us. I would just like to highlight the positive results we've seen over the last decade. This chart, obviously it's very difficult to read, but that is all the results since 2014. And the other graph shows the almost collapse in zero-star cars. That is the combination of the regulatory standard introduced by the government and then the growing consumer awareness. So we've seen enormous progress over the last 10 years already, and Bharat NCAP is just going to take that to a new level. I would just quickly highlight the evolution of the protocols. All NCAPs around the world periodically review their protocols. Roughly every 5 years or so, they upgrade. And they can afford to be, the whole purpose of NCAPs is to be a little bit more ambitious and flexible than minimum regulatory standards. And that's why you'll see all around the world the different NCAPs occasionally updating their protocols. And that's what we did also. And we're very pleased that as the basis of the Bharat NCAP, you are using our protocol. I think it's quite understandable that this will adapt over time to your conditions and circumstances. All the NCAPs around the world do that. For example, ASEAN NCAP includes within its protocol a blind spot detection rating to do with two-wheeler motorcycles with a slightly stronger rear view mirror. They adapted that all on their own. They're a world leader in that, and there's absolutely every opportunity for Bharat NCAP to do the similar adaptations to meet your own circumstances, your own needs. One thing I would say is that Global NCAP's purpose is to encourage collaboration amongst the NCAPs. Next year we will have our World Congress of NCAPs being hosted in Munich in Germany, April 23rd to the 25th, and all the NCAPs will be present. There are meetings of NCAPs in private where they discuss their work together but also make presentations to a wider audience. There will also be a focus on commercial vehicles, and we really hope that Bharat NCAP can come to this event and join the family of NCAPs who do try and work together as much as they can. So I really do think that it is time to reach for the stars. I think the time is absolutely right for Bharat NCAP, and it's just a huge satisfaction for us to have been part of this story, but only a part. The critical ingredient has been the commitment of the government, Honourable Minister, the dialogue with industry, and with our local partners, particularly IRTE. I would just like to finish with it's very appropriate given that India is hosting the G20 summit later this year. This chart shows, so it's difficult to